And for Halifax, James Woodburn-Hall has got over that injury which forced him out of the win over Whitehaven last week. Conor McGrath. And despite Jack Saltonstall on the team sheet, James Saltonstall on the wing, Greg Worthington on his old stomping ground with Zach McComb in the centres, Liam Harris and Scott Griggs at the halves, Adam Tangata, Brandon Moore and Daniel Murray at the front row, Matthew Carside and Ben Cabinet in the second row, loose forward Jake Fairbank on the bench for Halifax, Connor Robinson for a second week running, Kevin Leroy, Elliot Morris and Ben Tibbs gets only his second appearance and their third appearance of the season. And Halifax will play down the slope in the first half on the command of Robert Hicks' whistle. And Liam Harris gets the kick away. Conditions wet and slippery. Kopchak will run it back. Halifax there to meet him with 4 men in defence. Well, Featherstone were much bigger and much stronger on the day 3 weeks ago. Halifax will need to put in the best performance of the season, perhaps to win this afternoon. And they got close to Featherstone back in May when they went down 16 points to 8. And Featherstone have only lost once this season in league football to Toulouse and once in the Challenge Cup to Hull FC. But that massive scoring difference is a big factor for Featherstone, with Ferris bringing Wellham on up the slope, and Wellham gets over the 40-metre line. Back for the kick to Tom Holmes. Halifax letting it bounce. Well, that's a dangerous game, but Halifax have been lucky in the bounce of the ball, taking it out of play and come back for a tap on the 20. Scott Griggs gives it to Conor McGrath, and McGrath is pushed back towards his own try line by the Featherstone defence. Saltonstall, probably one of Halifax's players of the season again, with his sheer determination to make metres. Tangata gets to the 40-metre line. Brandon Moore, Cabinet, and ball goes loose. But it's gone backwards. Woodburn-Hall gets it away to Grich. And Robert Hicks, with the assistance of his touch judges, has said it was a knock-on. It didn't look like it, but Featherstone will get possession 5 metres inside the Halifax half. It'll be Kopchak that plays the ball. It'll be Connor Jones who distributes out to the right hand side. Featherstone first opportunity in the Halifax half of the field with Callum Field, and takes it over the 30. Well, one of Halifax's problems last week at the Shea was giving away possession too easily, and they got away with it. But on this occasion they're facing different opposition as they come to the left hand side with Ferris charging towards the corner, but 4 men in to make the tackle. A test of the Halifax goal line defence early on. Holmes drops the ball off. Jones in the dummy half. Holmes out to Brown. Brown, oh, we had support outside him. Did Alex Walker linking up at full back, but went for the power play and was caught 2 metres out. Turns over possession to Halifax. Well, the game started much like it did in that last fixture with Featherstone, finishing forcing Halifax to run the ball out of their own 10-metre area. James Woodburn-Hall takes it forward. Said this week they're not just here to make up the numbers. Well, now they have a chance to prove it as McComb takes it forward into tackle of Callum Field and Connor Jones. Halifax making steady progress down the hill. Fairbank driving it up, 3-man tackle almost at halfway, but Robert Hicks signalling the last one of this particular set as Harris gets his kick away. How much trouble will it cause? Well, not much. for Alex Walker, the former London Broadcoat. And Gareth Gale will run it up now, and he's tackled by Daniel Murray. That's a great effort from Murray, taking him back almost 5 metres, lifting him off the ground. Halifax up quickly. Need to make sure that Featherstone are allowed to get into the groove. Hardcastle tackle, Kopchak gets it across. They've numbers on this left hand side. Craig Hall opts to go on his own, and Featherstone setting it out their intent with the way they're passing the ball and making metres. Lockwood, last tackle. Holmes stands waiting for the ball so he can put another kick into trouble the Halifax defence. Well, they're not going to let this one bounce, but they're not. Oh, well, they've knocked on Featherstone. That should have been a try. Well, it had try written all over it. James Woodburn all under pressure, unable to take the kick. Featherstone have 6 more tackles, and the signs in the opening 6 minutes or so not encouraging for Halifax, because they're back in the red zone defending. And the closest that Featherstone have been to the line. Lockwood drives it up. Jones moves into acting half, looking both ways. Brown gets the pass out. Halifax forced into defence but can't stop Alton going over. And Halifax failing to deal with the kick when the Featherstone got possession. And had already proved when they moved the ball to the left hand side earlier in the piece up the slope how much progress could be made. And this time they didn't need that much space because they're already near the Halifax line. And Frankie Houghton going in for the first try after 7 minutes. Not the start that Halifax would have wanted, but it's all about possession in games like this. And Halifax have given it away too often already. We're only 7 or so minutes into this match. Craig Hall doesn't even look, because he knew so as soon as the ball had left his foot that was going in between the posts to make it 6-0. 104 goals this season for Craig Hall. 29 tries. Will be 5 in a recent game against the Sheffield Eagles. Harris gets the ball high again, gets the spin on it. Well, the damp and slippery conditions not troubling Featherstone so far. Kopchak. Featherstone attempting to read Super League for the first time. Halifax have been out of the top tier for 18 seasons now. And here Featherstone go again, stacking men on the right hand side, but Halifax taking the chance, and they get across to make the tackle. And Featherstone already up to halfway. Halifax's defence struggling with Featherstone going up the hill. Jones gets it back to Brown. Brown will take the run, and then, well, that was about a yard forward to Gareth Gale. That's a let-off for Halifax. There's Gareth Gale. Scored 25 tries himself. James Saltonstall, Halifax's striker, has got 11. And Featherstone have 6 players that have scored 11 or more tries this season. So that's the danger. They've scored twice as many Tries as Halifax almost. 197 for the season. Halifax have scored 98. And how badly do Halifax need one now to keep themselves in this game? And just to give them a bit of confidence. Garside to Harris. And Garside has gone down. He took a late one, a high one. Robert Hicks stopping the clock. Featherstone already retreating the 10 metres in expectation of the penalty just conceded. First one of the game. Just in a Super League official last week at the Shea. There were only 5 penalties in the whole game. So what the Halifax do? 40-metre line.
Yes.
Well, Robert Hicks has gone to the pocket. And that looks like, well, it's not Brett Ferris. Well, Robert Hicks must have had assistance from his sideline officials there. Featherstone reduced to 12 men, but it's contact with the head that's the issue, and it has to be dealt with in the same way. Whoever you are, and it's Tom Holmes that's been sent to the sin bin. Can Halifax make the man advantage count, or does it just give Featherstone a bit more room? Daniel Murray stopped by Kopchak, finished off with the forwards rushing in. Garside has another go. Scott Griggs with a dummy runner, but the ball never getting to him. Brandon Moore to Fairbank, and Fairbank, well, Kopchak's made 2 tremendous tackles in that set of 6 on Murray and Fairbank. Scott Griggs out the back to Harris. Harris finds Woodburn-Hall, out to McComb, McComb to McGrath, and McGrath in at the corner, and Halifax have made the extra man pay, but Robert Hicks is going to go upstairs to the video referee. He's awarded the try. Didn't see anything from here that would suggest otherwise. But the man advantage has worked in Halifax's favour. Well, they needed a response and they needed it quickly. They want to stay in this game. There's no big screen, so we'd have to wait for the decision from the video ref, and the decision is try to Conor McGrath and Halifax. And back in the game, not being fazed by the amount of time they spent in those early moments in their own quarter of the field. Hit back. It was all built on that incident which saw Tom Holmes sent from the field. Halifax built the pressure and built the overlap for Conor McGrath to scream in at the corner, squeezing at the corner even. Well, a man that's leaving Halifax at the end of the season due to work commitments, Conor McGrath. Harris with the kick, and he's done what Craig Hall has done and got one over from close to the touchline. Oh, I thought them to apologise, he has missed it. I thought it was going over then. I thought the judges were putting the flags up, but Halifax still behind, but only 6 points to 4. As Hall restarts, Halifax need to make sure they complete the set this time, take the ball back down the hill as far as they can. Well, a bit of an over-exaggeration, a slope rather than a hill. Tangata dunked on his back. Scott Griggs trying to go forward. Brandon Moore gets the ball out wide, and Halifax are over the 40-metre line, so it's one of the best efforts at going forward. Fairbank will charge it over halfway, last tackle, and they'll look to Griggs this time for the kick. Well, he's got plenty of backspin on it. Gareth Gale coming forward for it, and Gale takes it, but it's a good chase from Halifax onto the winger. As soon as he got the ball, it still needed 3 to take him down. And Halifax will be happy at where they finished from that set of 6, but Featherstone threatening to make many of those metres back just with the first run. Referee Robert Hicks wipes the tackle count back to 0 on the appeals of the Featherstone players. And Halifax need to be squeaky clean. Ben Kavanagh gets the carrier at the second attempt, and Jones bursting through from dummy half. Has set Featherstone up to the 30-metre line. Oh, Brandon Moore has stolen the ball. The referee says he was offside. Well, Featherstone had played the ball, so Brandon Moore's entitled to go for it. Featherstone reactions were slow at marker, so Brandon Moore thought, I'll have a little bit of that, but Robert Hicks says no, you won't, it's a penalty to Featherstone, which Featherstone are showing some respect to Halifax, because they're opting for Craig Hall to convert from just outside the 20-metre area. Almost 15 minutes gone. Only half the scoreboard working. It shows Featherstone 6, but not Halifax's 4. And Robert Hicks seems to be doling out some advice there to Craig Hall. That's why they wave the hand to put the clock back on. What's the danger is playing up the slope in the second half for Halifax. But in the more important games Halifax have played against Featherstone, they do seem to come out on top. Ben Black's drop goal back in 2010 after Halifax trailed 22 points to 4 in the championship playoff. After a long break, Halifax came back on, took the game to Featherstone, won 23-22. Craig Hall with a successful conversion. Featherstone 8, Halifax 6. Craig Kopchak well tackled there by Murray and Fairbank. Halifax know that the defence needs to be on its A game this afternoon, and that's not a bad effort. Third tackle, Featherstone just outside the 30. It's these run centre field like that from Brown that's causing problems. They forced him lateral and he's offloaded the ball, but Featherstone managed to make 10 metres. They're just short of halfway in their own half of the field. Kopchak drives it up. Is it It's not Kopchak, sorry. This one to cause problems. Woodburn Hall almost losing that one. And there's some players looking at the referee there trying to claim a knock on, I think, as Saltonstall gives it to Conor McGrath. And Halifax once again resorting to one-out football. They've made it to the 30-metre line. Saltonstall goes forward. up to the 40. And Harris, not sure if that was an attempt at 40-20, but it's an attempt to push Featherstone back into their own half where Craig Hall picks it up. The chase is good from Halifax, and Hall's put down 15 metres out in front of the Rovers post, and Gareth Gale comes in off the wing, and Gareth Gale 100 metres with 3 men around him, still going forward. Chris Wellham, not seen too much of him yet in the first half, just a couple of runs, comes in for a touch of the ball. Connor Jones turns it inside, and Featherstone back with the big fellas up the middle. Halifax doing well. Featherstone 5 metres inside the Halifax half, opting to run Brown kicks towards the touchline and push Halifax back into their own quarter of the field. And a good end to set a 6 for Featherstone as they finish up in the Halifax quarter of the field. Although Halifax did do pretty well on that last set of 6. The Halifax supporters making far more noise than the home supporters. Colin McGrath into 3. Zach McComb work to do up against this bigger Featherstone side. Bigger all across the park as Cabinet tries to make ground. Murray. Halifax perhaps not just making as much forward this time, but Griggs will go for the 40-20. Not the pace on it. Long way down the slope. Walker goes back to collect it, gives it inside to Gareth Gale. Gareth Gale stopped again 15 metres out. Tom Holmes ready to come back on. Halifax not allowed to gain any more advantage from having the extra man. Bus is also going to come on. And much to the joy of the Featherstone supporters, they've got their first penalty for an offside by Halifax. Craig Hall will put the ball into touch. Midway through this playoff tie, Featherstone 8, Halifax 6. Jones 4. Featherstone pouring forward. Referee's way play on. Looked like Jones could have knocked on there. Referee allows him to play on. Gareth Gale. Strong driving run. What will Robert Hicks say? Featherstone say it's a try. Robert Hicks says it's a try, but we'll check with the video ref. So another wait for Halifax, whose goal line defence let them down again, despite the number of bodies around the ball carrier. The drive. The Kopchak was just too big, too strong. And Halifax left holding another inquest behind the post, away to the left hand side. Greg Worthington has been taken straight from the field into the Halifax dressing rooms. Connor Robinson has entered the field for Halifax. And finally Well, there must have been some down there. It took a long time to make the decision, or confirm the decision of Robert Hicks. Hall to stretch the lead a little bit further. Featherstone 14, Halifax 4. It looks like the possible end of the afternoon for Greg Worthington, unless they can do some work on him. Halifax left, chasing the game again. 18 minutes left in the first half. Featherstone leading by 10. And the task just became a little bit bigger for Halifax. Well, they hit back last time, they need to do it again. And Kopchak in his first half has been all over the place for Featherstone, and they were appealing again for a penalty. Robert Hicks allows play to go on. As Frankie Halton takes it over halfway for Rovers. Halifax with a tight defence again, leaving room on the outside. Lockwood goes up the middle, 40 metres away. Oh, straight pass was on the floor through the legs of Ferris. And Ferris opts to kick. And Brett Ferris has placed a kick in the red zone for Halifax, and they'll be forced back to run the ball out again. Well, very few chances for Halifax, even in the opposition half of the field, let alone in the red zone. Having to run the ball back out of their own red zone on numerous occasions. Saltonstall. Big defensive wall from Lockwood and Kopchak. Fairbank. Griggs to McComb. Well, man on man usually does pretty well, but against these bigger Featherstone players, struggling a bit, but still managing to make meters. And this time Robert Hicks catches Featherstone offside. So just the third penalty of the game, 2 in favour of Halifax. Halifax being given an opportunity by Featherstone. Can they make the most of it? Tangata finishes up with 3 defenders around him, but gets almost on that red line. The white line is the Featherstone 20. Fairbanks tries to pass it, and Halifax have given the ball away after making good progress down towards the 20-metre line. Straight pass by Fairbank gives Featherstone possession back. And Kopchak coming off for a deserved rest to be replaced by John Davis. Who will no doubt be running strong and hard into the Halifax defence, as he has done for Featherstone for quite some time, but not on this occasion. Ball goes across to Ferris, and Ferris pushes Harris away, but the reinforcements there, Zach McComb. And it looks, and McComb chasing the ball, knows it's the last tackle, and Dan Murray, if it bounces up for him, might be on the way down the hill. Has he got the speed? Firmano Brown brings him down. Can he get a quick play of the ball? Oh, the Featherstone Rovers defence are back now. Halifax, have they taken too long? Can they get over the line? Well, they can, but they've been held up by the Rovers defence. Well, Daniel Murray, seen him do that a few times this season, where he's charged the ball down. For all his effort, it's unfortunate that he is a prop forward and didn't have the pace to get away from the defence. Zach McCoon tackled on 10 metres. Fairbank surely won't try and pass this time. The previous run a desperate pass, which is not really needed yet. And Halifax forced a drop out under the Rovers post. Halifax will get to put more pressure on as Kevin Leroy enters the field for Daniel Murray. Halifax need to be wary of that big space that Halifax have left. The ball's gone into the Halifax half of the field, and Griggs gives it to Leroy, who charges in and bounces off Lockwood. Gets caught by Cooper as Halifax continue down the slope. Connor Robinson to Harris to Garside, back to Robinson again. Looking at the obstruction there, I think Featherstone as Kavanagh gets caught on the 20-metre line. Robinson gets it away to Tangata, who gets it onto Leroy over the top. Well, not the best pass. McGrath manages to get it for Halifax, and there's a late flop there from Welland, goes unpunished. Garside across the defence, sandwiched in between two defenders. Halifax on the 30-metre line, but Robert Hicks with his hand in the air signalling the last tackle. Harris opts to run. McCoon gets the ball, gets it back to Harris. Harris is not going to get the option of a kick away because the Featherstone defensive pressure was so intense. Well, Halifax needed a better outcome than that. Harris just trying something different, but unable to benefit. Similar to Zach McCoon, who scored a great try here when Halifax lost. Already up to halfway. And these forward runs relentless from Featherstone. John Davis will be the next one, I think. Oh no, they've come to Holmes on the left hand side. The tackle from Griggs and Fairbank. Davis passes Brown along the line. Walker up from full back. 11 minutes left in the first half. 14 points to 4. Brown gets it across to McGrath's arm, puts the ball down. Featherstone will get 6 more tackles, but as it delayed the inevitable for Halifax, or will they be able to defend on the line? This time Elliot Morris now on for Halifax. Ball going over to the right hand side. Frankie Halton charging up Brown with a pass that almost didn't reach him. Davis 8 metres out. Featherstone stacking a 2-line attack, but good tackle from Elliot Morris. Can Halifax continue this defensive effort? We'll have it for another tackle from Luke Cooper. Jones goes from dummy half, gets caught, last tackle. Well, no cop chat this time, but no shortage of runners. Ferris gets it away to Wellham, and Halifax keep the line intact on this occasion. Good effort from Halifax, 9.5 minutes to go, but here they are again, trying to take the ball out of their own red zone. Saltonstall with just a blue and white wall of defence. Morris replacing Adam Tangata, and here goes Morris with a run, gets to the 20-metre line. Once again Halifax being stifled by this Featherstone defence. Ball comes loose. Penalty, says Robert Hicks. He had a long look before he gave the decision then. Featherstone inviting Halifax back into their half. Elliot Morris down in black play, receiving attention. But a good sign, he's only just come on the field. Well, I don't think Adam Tangata will be putting the bib on just yet, so he may be going back on. Put it on now, but both props up and ready to return to the fray. Elliot Morris being helped gingerly to his feet. He seems to be okay for the moment. I'm not sure he's gone back down on one knee again. Again now, going to try and run it off. Connor Robinson puts the ball into touch on the Rovers 40-metre line. 8.5 minutes left. Can Halifax conjure something up before half time to reduce this 14 points to 4 lead as Leroy drives it forward? Connor Robinson have to reach up for that one. Harris goes on his own, almost finds a gap, takes 3 men to put him down, got to the 20-metre line. Garside moves into acting half and throws not the pass that Halifax required. Again, it's down to composure, and Halifax seem to be losing it and almost losing ground as well. Fairbank to Elliot Morris, back in the red zone. Brandon Moore goes to the right hand side. Harris out to Garside. Garside is wrestled to the ground, and again it's the last tackle. Featherstone stacking men on the short side. Harris kicks off the outside of the foot. Who's there first? Well, we're going to find out, because Robert Hicks is going to go upstairs to the video referee again. Halifax, well, how far are they going back? That would be an indication. Featherstone have gone back to the in-goal area, every one of them. Well, this could be a tonic for Halifax. But it isn't, as Robert Hicks has given the penalty. Obviously something going on off the ball after it had been kicked. Well, that was an obstruction. I'm not sure, but Featherstone are back to halfway. Halifax have created an opportunity, so that should give them a little bit of a hope. If we can hang on to 14 points to 4 at half time, up the slope in the second half, a big ass, but they're still in range. Davis will put his head down and go forward, and he's such a hard man to stop, a bit like Elliot Morris, a low centre of gravity, always seems to have momentum to go forward. Connor Jones pinches 8 metres from the dummy half position. Wellham, oh, big handoff on Leroy there from Wellham. Last tackle again, 8 metres out from the Halifax line. Jones gets the pass to Bussey. Brown tries to go on his own, and Brown denied by the Halifax defence. Well, got close enough to be held up over the line, but it will be a turnover, and Halifax keep the line intact again with some desperate defending against Brown, who looked to have been stopped a couple of metres out but still managed to get over the line. Saltonstall, inevitably the first man to take the ball up. Zach McComb gets to the 20-metre line. Halifax supporters still enjoying themselves away to the left-hand side. Made a lot of noise during this first half, what they were asked to do by the players during the week. Although nice, would have been nice to see bigger numbers. Halifax have managed to bring a few across to the Millennium Stadium as Harris decides Halifax need to be at the other end of the field and hoops the ball downfield. And it's picked up and returned by Alex Walker, the fullback. Gareth Gale comes inside again. In a sort of downward position, then pushes his body up as he meets the defender and tries to push them back. Wellham up to halfway. Hardcastle. And here comes again with Jack Buster, formerly London, but Woodburn Hall has managed to strip the ball from him. Close carry from Bussey. Ben Kavanagh drives it up. Halifax crowded a bit centre field. Fairbank, Harris, Griggs throws the dummy, but Holmes tackles him. McComb will run the ball up to the defence again. Last tackle just inside the 30. Less than 4 minutes to go. Harris testing the fullback Walker. Walker well shielded by his teammates, but Halifax get in behind with Garside and McGrath to make the tackle. And 3.5 minutes left. Halifax to hold on, and Gareth Gale turns up again for the Featherstone Rovers. Runs the ball up to the 30-metre line. Frankie Holton takes it to the 40. Brown trying to find a way through. Interesting Super League clubs for Manu Brown. Back to Craig Hall, and that one is going to come down with snow and it's gone that far up. But Scott Griggs rather stands there and takes no real pressure on him. And then McGrath is chased by Craig Hall. Seems to have been around so long, does Craig Hall. And he's here again. But the ball missed it and got out to McCool. Touched by Craig Hall though, so that'll be 6 more tackles for Halifax, and Saltonstall will take the first run up again for Halifax down this slope towards halfway. Brandon Moore to Elliot Morris. Morris dragged down by Davis and Cooper. Halifax looked to move it across, but Garside was almost caught then as soon as he took the ball. Featherstone defence standing waiting for him in the shape of Brett Ferris. Leroya to Robinson. Robinson kicks behind the defence. It will go into the in-goal area, and can Halifax take Gareth Gale out of play? Well, they can't. That's good retrieval from the Featherstone winger. An idea from Connor Robinson, but I don't think anybody was following the script there, as Gale was allowed to get to the ball first. Featherstone urgent to get the ball away from their own line, with just over a minute left in the first half. Buset gets over the 40-metre line, last tackle, and they'll just put this one, well, it's not being played at, so they'll get another kick in, which Saltonstall's retrieved and almost split the winger and centre there on his way back down the slope with Bernal. To the ground by Davis. Buset, Zach McComb trying his hardest but finding it tough to get through this Featherstone defence. Fairbank running at pace, taking Halifax back into the Rovers red zone for one last attempt, perhaps before the hooter sounds. Robinson to Harris. Harris to McComb, but McComb could have lost the ball to Craig Hall there, but it doesn't matter in the end as the hooter sounds, and Halifax they won't be impressed, but I think they'll be fairly happy with the performance. After going down to Frankie Hall's try and Hall's conversion at 6 points to 0, and then McGrath squeezing in with a fly dive at the corner, making it 6-4, brought Halifax back into the game. And such is the respect today, Hall decided that the 2 points from the penalty to increase the lead to 8 points to 4 was the option. And the other scores coming from Copcat barging his way over the line. There were 3 or 4 Halifax defenders there, but they couldn't stop him, all converting from under the post. Halifax got over the line, couldn't score. All to do in the second half, but still in this game there's only 10 points in it at the Millennium Stadium, where Featherstone Rovers are 14, Halifax 4. And Robert Hicks checking the players are in the right position, just waiting for the OK. Skyman's got his thumbs up, so we can restart for the last 40 minutes of the season for one of these clubs. Well, at the moment it probably looks like it might be Halifax's last 40 minutes. 14-4 down, playing up the slope against these big Featherstone forwards, and Halifax with the consistency of turning the ball over regularly and giving some penalties away that have helped Featherstone, although they didn't really need that much help. Not enough talent on the road. Morris went down once, I think, got back up and set off again. Morris, sorry, Brandon Moore. Robinson kicks into the corner. Will he get the bounce that Featherstone have had on 2 or 3 occasions in the first half? No, they'll pick it up and run it back. Well, Halifax will be looking to do what Featherstone did to them in the first half and stop the momentum down the slope. They had plenty going up it, they'll probably have a little bit more going down it, and Halifax have to try and stop that. And it's Gareth Gale who puts the Halifax defence to work initially. Brett Ferris gets the ball to Wellham. Wellham tackled 5 metres inside the Halifax half, and already in the first set of 6 for Featherstone there are ominous signs as they roll forward down the slope with Davies. Last tackle just inside the Halifax 40-metre mark. Holmes Simbin in the first half gets the kick away, and Scott Griggs Was under all sorts of pressure there, but bravely took the ball over 400 games in his career, Scott Griggs. Career which began at Halifax with his brother Simon many years ago. It was to be his last 40 minutes before retirement. Talking about how good it would feel to try and get Halifax back into Super League, but it's a massive ask. But they've still got a chance to do something about it as Morris gets to the 40-metre line, tackled by Cooper. Robinson again resorts to kicking behind Alex Walker. Walker will pick it up and run it back. There's a wall of Halifax defenders chasing the kick up and making the tackle 10 metres out from the Featherstone line. Wellham picks up and goes on a scoop from dummy half, gets to the 20-metre line. Well, Halifax are doing the best at the moment against this bigger Featherstone side. We've now got to the 30. Davies will pass. Usually I think Davies has done more passing than running so far this afternoon. Cooper's put down 5 metres from halfway. Gareth Gale. Big run from Gale back down to the 40-metre line. Brown will put it in the air. Robert Hicks had his hand in the air for the last tackle. And Scott Ricks there again under pressure, but cool as you like, takes the ball. Bernal driven back by the Featherstone defence as Halifax find it tough trying to get out of their own red zone. Going up the slope, McComb a little step before he meets the defence. Leroy over the 30, last tackle, hand in the air from Robert Hicks. Robinson, Kavanagh out to Woodburn-Hall. Woodburn-Hall steps inside, catches the defence. Now he's put a kick in for Saltonstall and Griggs to chase, but Josh Hardcastle gets back there. But Halifax are where they want to be at the end of that 6, as far away from their own try line as they possibly could be, and they were just 5 metres shy of the Featherstone try line. Again, trying to stop this Featherstone juggernaut rolling forward over the 30-metre line with Jack Bussey. We'll get on play the ball, appealing for a penalty. Craig Hall will kick downfield, and that one will stop just behind James Saltonstall. He'll pick it up and run it back, and gets almost to the Halifax 30, with Halifax players still coming back. A limited amount of number of runners to go forward. Fairbank receiving attention. McComb complaining that there was little or no effort made to get up or get away from the tackle after it had been made there. Therefore it slowed it down, but not listened to as Kavanagh takes the ball off Robinson on halfway. And it looks like Jacob Fairbank leaving the field, so Greg Worthington limping out of the sheds at half time. It looks like the afternoon's over for him. Liam Harris will put up the high kick. Where are the chasers? And we get there. Make the tackle 18 metres out from the Rovers line. Jacob Fairbank straight off to the dressing rooms with the Halifax doctor as Hardcastle charges forward, strong run, takes him to 5 metres from halfway. And Halton, Featherstone try scorer, the first one in the first half, pushes Halifax back to who are defending on their own red zone. Holmes turns it back inside to Davis, and Davis bounces off Kavanagh. Last tackle, Featherstone appealing for a high one. Holmes kicks through, and Halifax somehow managed to scoop up the possession. Halifax have a penalty anyway. Adam Tangata back on for Kevin Leroya. Daniel Murray charging to the middle of the Featherstone defence. Halifax not looking too bad in the first 8 minutes of the second half, and managed to keep Featherstone away from their try line. And a knock on there will give Featherstone the possession back. We spoke just a bit too soon there. Well, Ben Kavanagh getting some attention from the medical staff, and takes his place in the defensive line. Tom Holmes being replaced by Dane Chisholm to put a bit of spark into this Featherstone attack. And Chisholm more than capable of that, and here we go. And the Bradford and Sheffield Eagles player. Chisholm again to Brown, Brown to Walker. A kick attempted behind the Halifax defence, but McGrath scoops up the ball. Well, it was Connor Robinson who scooped the ball up for Halifax. Jacob Fairbank back out of the dressing rooms. I don't know if he's had a HIA or what he's had, but might still have a chance to get him back on. Halifax down to 16 fit players for the rest of this game. And I suppose there'll be a few tired bodies from that slog against Whitehaven last week. Featherstone with a week off last week. That's a huge kick, but it's not going to trouble Craig Hall as he runs it back up towards Halifax defence, who tried to gang up and push him over the far touch line. Wellham single-handedly trying to swat off 3 or 4 Halifax defenders on halfway. Eventually he's put down. Chisholm, Hardcastle. Top try scorer in 2017 was Josh Hardcastle, a long way off that for this season, with only 6. And the referee says Halifax have touched it, and Wellham looking to take advantage of a weary looking defence as a restart. The tackle count restarts with a wave of hand from Robert Hicks, and Featherstone just getting that extra metre or 2 in the challenge now as Chisholm gets it away. And there will be a try for Featherstone that may just take this game beyond Halifax in the darkened corners of the Millennium Stadium. One of the strong running Featherstone forward, forcing his way over. Halifax have got medical staff all over the in-goal area checking on the fitness of the Halifax players. Featherstone 18, Halifax 4. 13 minutes gone in the second half. Make you wonder who, if Featherstone should get into Super League, who will take with them from this side. And I think the likes of Craig Hall, Chris Wellham, Tom Holmes, Craig Kopchak, Brett Ferris have all done their time in the top tier of the competition. Not sure they want to particularly go around again. But there's £1 million goes with the reward for winning that match on Sunday next week. I think possibly that most of the people in the Championship would be glad to see the back of Toulouse after their season going unbeaten. They're playing with the league leaders shield after winning just 12 games. To be played in Toulouse next week. It's currently still in summertime in the south of France. Conditions will be much different to this. Until the opposition, the team that gets through this and wins at the end. Will finally get his conversion attempt away, which fails. So it stays Featherstone 18, Halifax 4. Leading 3 scores. Massive ask. Halifax side with players now obviously carrying some sort of knocks after the attention. Short kick-off from Griggs. Gone off, I think it went off James Woodburn all into the hands of Alex Walker, who immediately puts Featherstone on the advantage again, taking the ball up to just outside the 20-metre area. Connor Jones in acting half. To Chisholm to Davis. Davis opts to run this time. He's running a long way, but he's run most of it sideways, 15 metres. Featherstone with Chisholm looking for support, and there's runners all over for Featherstone. Halton looking for a second. Chisholm again, moves the ball out wide. Brown goes for the quick throw. It's another Featherstone try, and the floodgates might just be opening for this Featherstone side now. Tiring Halifax defence, 25 minutes to go.
Featherstone Rovers, sponsored by Nick. Sunshine Tours has Russell Norris, the runner, George Hardcastle.
Hardcastle with Featherstone's fourth try, the chip through. which Halifax couldn't deal with. Another try for Featherstone. But we're now starting to run away with this game. Halifax looked good in the first 8 or 9 minutes. But well, for Halifax, not all it is the game going downhill. So Featherstone taking full advantage of it with another try. And Hall adds another 2. Point gap now for Featherstone. Halifax trailing by 24 points to 4. And there's never any pressure on, there were no big expectations with Halifax. But the last thing they want to do is capitulate again. Woodburn all got his hands on it again. Well, they're certainly trying to Halifax, but it's going against them, and the cost of that is a tap on the Featherstone 40-metre line. Brown to Chisholm, Ferris. Oh, I thought we were on the full width then, but Ferris came inside. He's 2 minutes from halfway, gets up, play the ball well and moves into acting half. Gives it to Chisholm.
Millennium Stadium is Featherstone Rovers.
Margin run. He gave himself up offside there, but did Ferris, but Roberts letting him play on. Chisholm kicks into the corner. Who's the fastest? Well, Richard's the fastest, but Hall got the ball, and Featherstone have another try. Well, it's certainly all going south Halifax now. The ball squirming out in the tackle. Jones being voted the Young Player of the Year at Featherstone this year, helping himself to a try. It looked like Halifax had managed to clear up the kick at the back and get to it first. Obviously hadn't cleared it up. Jones. Kicks become easier and easier, but it would appear so do the tries for Featherstone, so they're now leading 30 points to 4. Featherstone Rovers, East, Yorkshire Shutters, number 1, 16 points in 21 minutes. Halifax up for the deep kick again. But Featherstone relentless, pick the ball up. To Gareth Gale to run the ball back. And now trying to put on the style. John Davis passing the ball out of the tackle. Here come Featherstone again. Kick downfield is from Chisholm. Woodburn Hall goes back, but gets to the 20-metre line, and the Featherstone defence are there waiting for him, and the extra effort which pushes him back another 3 metres towards the Halifax line. Halifax running out of the red zone again. Featherstone look to be on course to get a The rematch against the only team they've lost to this season in Toulouse. Elliot Morris to Griggs, nothing to lose for Halifax now. Woodburn all out to Saltonstall, and Saltonstall is bundled into touch by Gareth Gale. I'm not sure what. Well, it's a penalty to Halifax. Too much effort from Gareth Gale, so the tackle's made me drag him out into touch. Well, that's what James Saltonstall thought as well. And just making his point there to the Featherstone bench, I think, because he moved up to play the ball. Morris. Griggs. No look past Tibbs into the line, but Gale making the tackle with Hardcastle. Griggs. So away to Meribah, Halifax. First real opportunity to unlock that Featherstone defence. Harris kick off the outside of the foot. Can McGrath get to it? No, so the referee, they'll come back for a tap on the 20. No, Halifax just really trying anything just to restore a little bit of pride in their performance this afternoon. Having a hard task putting down Frankie Halton there. As Featherstone go back inside looking for centre field where the runner's Bussey. He gives it to Chisholm. Chisholm will shape to kick and then decided to pass. That's a good tackle by Halifax. Catching Wellams as he tried to go through the middle of him. Brown gets the pass away. Connor Jones looks right, finds Bussey. Bussey spent some time with Toronto as well, Jack Bussey, although I didn't think he get to play much. Connor Jones Chisholm putting pressure on McGrath on that far side. McGrath tries to knock it back. And Robert Hicks will go to the video referee to check. I think he's awarded a try. It's just how the ball came down and was grounded. Halifax already gathering under the post. Featherstone retreating. There's only looks like Liam Harris stood on the far side, thinking that this may not be a try. A long look. Is it a try? He's given up his forlorn hope that it may be overturned and walk back to join his teammates and wait. Gathered around that left hand upright. Try is given. And looks like Featherstone are on their way to another 50 points at this rate. touchlines. Almost cleared the top of the post. Being well, I'm not sure.
Featherstone Rovers are sponsored by Featherstone Rovers. Make some noise for number 3, Chris Millen. And with the successful conversion of the sponsor East Yorkshire Shuttles. Let's make some noise for number 1.
Confirmed as the try scorer. Halifax finally get one right on the short kick-off. Tangata.
Featherstone at the Millennium Stadium is at Featherstone Rovers 36. Halifax goes 4.
Elliot Morris unable to make any ground. Cut down on the 30-metre line. Harris away to Griggs. Griggs out to Kavanagh. Halifax getting into the red zone. Still trying to conjure up something to open up this fairly tight and well organised defence. The last tackle again signalled by Robert Hicks. Murray passes. Long ball out wide. McCoon gets it away to McGrath. Can he get inside? No. Short of the line. Well, the pass wasn't probably the best, and McGrath had to check his run and then come inside. The Featherstone defence sliding across. To stop any opportunity that Halifax might create. Certainly working hard in defence in this set of 6, trying to Chisholm kicks and the ball will go out of play. No big rush from the Halifax defence to get back. Then they'll get the ball centre field. Morris almost falling before he got to the defenders there. Just inside the Featherstone half of the field. Griggs to Daniel Merritt. Robinson, Tangata to Griggs. Griggs has spotted but gets away from the first attempt by Brown to tackle him. Holton was waiting a second line of defence as Murray drives forward again. 13 minutes left. Halifax really outplayed in this second half as Garside brings the ball back across the field. Last tackle again, Halifax 30 metres out. Griggs will kick off the outside of the boot, and will he get the bounce? Well, something for Halifax supporters to cheer about, as Liam Harris manages to win the race to the kick through from Scott Griggs behind the line, and touchdown for Halifax. A second try, 1 in either half. Halifax supporters have coming to enjoy themselves no matter what. They knew it was going to be a tough afternoon. There was no expectations on Halifax against the run of play. Have posted a try of their own. Halifax into double figures, 12 minutes to go. Craig Hall. Well, there was a call and somehow Halifax managed to retain possession. Robinson was quick to get that conversion over. But Halifax find himself again trying to run the ball out of their own red zone. McComb desperate to get the ball away. Robinson didn't get the opportunity to get the ball away before being dumped to the ground. Daniel Merritt will run it up the middle. Griggs kicks over the top. He gets the bounce, something could be on for Halifax. Kicked on again. I don't think there's anyone anywhere near enough to be able to take it as Craig Hall goes back and Halifax find themselves almost on that Featherstone try line. Only 2, 4, 6, 7 players coming back, so Halifax will want to let them get up and play the ball quickly. Now Featherstone players still trying to get back behind to play the ball. And Featherstone are going to go the full length with Connor Jones taking the ball off Halton, and Halifax had a massive advantage defensively with Featherstone players going back, and then Halton through the gap slips the ball to Connor Jones. Jones goes 60-70 metres. And 3/4 minutes ago, Jones brings up the 40. Craig Hall from in front of the post is surely going to make it 42. And Halifax punished for having the tenacity to score a try against Featherstone up the slope, made to pay. But there was an inkling of an opportunity that Halifax will keep Featherstone trapped in their own quarter there when Featherstone had 7 players coming back into the line. Somehow Halton barging his way through 2 defenders. Short kick again. Well, problems again for Halifax, but Murray able to bring Holmes down. On the 40-metre line, Davies passing again. Chisholm shifts the ball on even further. Halifax with numbers in the tackle. Will make the stop but don't put the man down. Wellham goes up from acting half. Gets put down eventually. Connor Jones up from dummy half, taking Featherstone to just outside the Halifax red zone again as Chisholm. Well, it's classed as a charge down, and so Halifax are able to carry on with Zach McComb. Ben Tibbs left on his own on this short side with 6 Featherstone defenders in front of him, so there's not much chance of him going anywhere from there. Rob Hicks has wiped the tackle count down to 0. Harris gets it out and then gets it back again. Liam Harris, and then tries to duck under the attempted tackles, but too many in number for Liam Harris to get any further than 4 metres into the Featherstone half. Leroya to Griggs, Griggs to Kavanagh, and Robert Hicks blowing the whistle. Kevin Leroya riding about on the floor in some pain. Going back to his feet again, maybe a late shot. Well, there's another yellow card being wielded by Robert Hicks. One lost the right for Halifax with the time up on the clock. Woodburn all to Kavanagh. Can't break through the tackle. Has left a Featherstone man down on the floor. And the last seconds of Halifax's season, a season which they've overachieved. According to some pundits, had them down for relegation at the start of the season. Even with only 2 winnings in the last 6 games, they managed to hold on to the 3rd place in the championship, already building for next season. With rumours of 5 or 6 potential signings. We will be playing Featherstone again next season. That'll be decided a week tomorrow in Toulouse, unless the venue is changed, which has been spoken about this week, although unlikely. Kavanagh will play the ball. Tibbs waits at dummy half, and Griggs to Leroya, over to Harris. Harris shoots it on. Halifax looking for one last hurrah. Well, the clock's come back to life again. There's still 6.5 minutes to go. So maybe still time for Halifax resorting to the kick again. Well, this similar to Welland's effort down in the corner. Again, it's in the semi-darkness of that in-goal area. Halifax retreating back. Only to the 10-metre line. Halifax denied. Conor McGrath unable to touch the ball down. Well, it's back to the 20-metre line for the tap. Gareth Gale. And less than 6 minutes to go. 42 points to 10. I'm sure Featherstone will be looking at hitting 50 again. There's enough time left on the clock. Scrappy play the ball. Matt Garside going for the right over the top of the Featherstone player. Chisholm to Davies. Davies trying to run around the outside of the defence, unusual for him. He's normally lined up to run through the middle. Jack Bussey taking the route, the same route that Davies did, with the same amount of success. The Halifax defence get to him. Welland with a big handoff on Liam Harris. Chisholm drills the ball through on the floor. Is it another try? It's another decision for the video referee. Well, Robert Hicks has given a try. Looks as though we stood over the top of it. Well, Halifax again congregate behind the post for the inquest. Looks like the trial be given, but Featherstone have not gone back as far as you would expect if they thought they'd scored, because they will be back in their own half by now. No fairy tale ending for Scott Griggs. He finishes his playing career on a low note. Unfortunately, he's had a lot of highs during his career, and this won't be one of them. Well, Halifax have picked the ball up. Salt's ready to play another decision, taking an age for the video referee. Well, he's given a penalty. He's also going to wield a card, another yellow card. It's the third one of the game.
So someone's kicked the ball on his backside.
Look, can't make out who's going.
Can't say. Is it Tibbs? It's Tibbs?
Yeah. So Ben Tibbs is going to the touchline, so he'll take no further part in this game. Frankie Halton looking for a second try, held up by the Halifax defence. Brown gets it to Davies, and Robert Hicks reacts to the tackle and the boos of the Featherstone crowd. With the penalty which Sharpbush tries to take quickly. Pull back, takes it at the second attempt. Halifax defending on their own line, but they're down to 12 men. It's a tired defence, and they've had one or two players who've been needing attention, but they managed to push well amount of play on the far side. The only thing really for Halifax is to try and keep the score down to less than 50 or even less than 45, which is the average score that Featherstone have had throughout the season. Elliot Morris into three defenders. Kevin Laraya bullshit to pass, got the ball away. It's gone to ground, and Brown picks up for Featherstone, and then it's gone to ground again. Well, Featherstone have got the possession with Hardcastle, Gareth Gale. "25 tries this season, but not one to add to it yet." Kick to the corner, that could be going anywhere, but it's a knock-on, says Robert Hicks. Halifax will get possession. Craig Hall hasn't added to his try haul either this afternoon, still on 29. Oh no. Ball out of the hand, straight into the arms of Josh Hardcastle. And he's given a penalty for a double movement as Robert Hicks. That's let off 2 minutes to go.
They like to kill their team as big as you.
Solid start to Griggs, Harris. And Halifax put the ball down again. Wellham's playing football with it. Well, Halifax have picked it up with Woodburn Hall, who's bounced away from the first defender and then dumped on his back by the second. McComb. Well, the defender's having trouble putting him down. Gets to within 5 metres of halfway. Brandon Moore to Merry. Griggs. Woodburn Hall. Merry decides to go back on the inside. Saltonstall picks up and goes from acting out, chips over the top. Well, not getting the bounce again. Looked unlikely anyway with so many Featherstone defenders around him. To the last 34 seconds of the season for Halifax. I think 1 or 2 players playing with injury or carrying minor knocks. And with such a small squad, Halifax were always going to struggle. 40-20 from Dane Chisholm. Hooter sounds, no more play. Halifax didn't live up to expectations, which there weren't many anyway, but again, too many errors. And an inability to stop this Featherstone juggernaut, much bigger, much stronger side. They'll want to face Toulouse in France next week for the season. Halifax is over for the career. Scott Griggs is retiring, and there's 1 or 2 other players who played the last games in a Halifax shirt this afternoon. But the rumours of players coming in will encourage Halifax supporters more than the result as 14-4 down, and Featherstone just ran away with it, getting up to 30 before Halifax even got over the line, with tries from Ferris, Hardcastle, Jones, Wellham. 3 conversions from Craig Hall, Championship Player of the Season. Halifax, well, they made some respectability out of it with a try from Harris, who won the race to the touchdown in the in-goal area. Robinson converted in front of the post. At least they got to double figures at 36-10. But then, when they looked to have the defensive advantage, Holton broke through and sent Jones away down the field for the final try of the match, with Hall converting. It's an emphatic win for Featherstone, not helped by Halifax's errors. Featherstone deserved winners. Final score at Millennium Stadium: Featherstone 42, Halifax 10.